FARMED, a live podcast album on Friday, June 2nd, 2023 at the Hawthorne Barn at 20 Summers in Provincetown, Massachusetts. You are live, and we are listening.
Should I die before it break?
I'll put in the work for it. We will. Will we reach the dreams we preach? Or is this lyric dream speech?
Dream speech.
Will we reach the dreams we preach? Or is this lyric dream speech?
Dream speech.
Will we reach the dreams we preach?
Hey, how we doing? Yes. Happy Pride, Provincetown! Yes! If you could create a future of any design, what would it look like? In George Orwell's Animal Farm, the animals have just overthrown the humans and suddenly realize that they have the farm to themselves. Vast hills, endless sky, a future of total possibility. Our country, like the Animal Farm, is founded on principles of freedom. And on tonight's episode, we'll be speaking with guest Kristen Becker, founder of Summer of Sass, about the importance of hope in grassroots organizing and putting in the work to create the world we wish to live in.
1, 2, 3, 4. On my back, a mighty boulder, to the top of the quarry, and my off the edge like a body off a cliff. But it won't break, 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 it won't break. I gotta break that rock. Strong and strong, break that rock. Climb back down the mighty boulder, and I carry the same dead rock on the hill, and my body is on fire.
There are certain animals on the farm, in Orwell's Animal Farm, yes, that choose ease and comfort over imagination and revolution. Few are as memorable as a mare named Molly. We all know her. She carries a seasonal latte as she half-heartedly glides away, mane blowing in the wind. She is the influencer you can't stop watching, more valuable than gold and everybody's envy. She is socially liberal and fiscally conservative. She would have voted for a billionaire for office if she bothered to vote at all. She is insidious, ubiquitous, and lives deep in the heart of nearly every American. Privilege over labor, cowardice over courage, comfort over revolution. Eating away at the fibers of empathy like expensive chocolate, licking her fingers clean of accountability.
Molly was a mare, wore blue ribbons in her hair, ate expensive chocolates, loved the finer things, and she gazed in the mirror, yes, she gazed in the mirror, Molly gazed in the mirror to admire her figure in the glass, in the glass.
She's good.
Will there be sugar after the rebellion? When we have a rebellion, will there still be sugar to eat? Will I still be allowed to wear ribbons in my hair, blue ribbons in my hair? Or are they badges of slavery, slavery, oh, slavery, slavery, oh? Some say liberty is worth more than ribbons, Molly. Some say liberty is worth more than ribbons, Molly. Some say liberty is worth more than ribbons, Molly. Molly was a mare, was a Molly was a mare, was a Molly was a mare, was a mare, wore blue ribbons in her hair, expensive chocolates, gazed in the mirror, Molly gazed in the mirror to my hair, badges of slavery, 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 slavery. Some say liberty is worth more than ribbons, Molly. Some say liberty is worth more than ribbons, Molly. Some say liberty is worth more than ribbons, Molly.
And there are other animals on the farm who do nothing but create division between the other animals. These are the pigs. There's one pig in particular called Squealer who acts as a press liaison. His purpose is to distort facts and make the truth seem more palatable. This insidious means of controlling the national narrative alters and denies realities and horrors that we have seen unfold before our very eyes. They place blame on everybody except the administrations they serve, and like the dancing pig Squealer, leap and spin their little tails, making a bright spectacle of alternative facts.
1, 2, 3, 4.
In this democracy, our credibility, responsibility, black and white, is now alarmingly untrue so commonly, very deliberately left and right. Huh! They're spreading rumors, rumors, rumors.
Better run, run, run as fast as you can.
Responsibility to our community makes us extremely proud of our quality. But we're concerned about the common trend of irresponsible, one-sided stories plaguing our country.
They're spreading rumors, rumors, rumors. They lie, lie, lie. They're spreading rumors, rumors, rumors. Better run, run, run as fast as you
They're
can.
just platform squishers, politicians caught up in their guilty mission. Platform squishers, politicians caught up liars.
Do not publish stories of bias. News, you know that everybody loses when your freedom's abused. But tell me one minute, some of you are spreading rumors, rumors, rumors. Just ain't true.
They're spreading rumors, rumors, rumors. They lie, lie, lie. They're spreading rumors, rumors.
this democracy, our credibility, responsibility, black and white, is now alarmingly untrue so commonly, very deliberately left and right. Confucius, Romans, they lie, not in line. Confucius, politicians, Confucius, politicians, not in line. Confucius, politicians, very deliberately left and right, very deliberately black and white.
I do not know your demons. I do not know your scars. I do not know your history, but I'll try to get where you are. I do not live in your household. I am just learning your name. Maybe I'm no one to you. All the same, we're all the same. I will be open, I'm gonna listen. Lord, I'm hoping I'm not missing anything. Let the truth of unheard songs ring out into the crowd while our stories come together and come through. I am for you. I am for you. Tell me how you feel. Oh, my sibling, you are real. Tell me how you feel. Brother, I know you are real. Tell me how you feel. Oh, my sister, you are real. Tell me how you feel. Brother, I know you are real. Tell me how you feel. Oh, my sister, you are real. Tell me how you feel. Brother, I know you are real. I'm open, I'm gonna listen. Lord, I'm hoping I'm not missing anything. Let the truth of unheard songs ring out into the crowd while our stories come together and come through. I am for you. Our first guest is a performer, producer, activist, and founder of Summer of Sass, a nonprofit collective freeing young LGBTQ adults from religious climates to live, work, and personally thrive in the liberal haven of Provincetown. Described as the kind of formative experience that can change or save lives, Summer of Sass welcomes this week a new crop of PTOWN residents to its abode. Welcome to the stage, Kristen Becker. So,
Yeah.
hi.
Hi.
This is the first time we're getting to sit down with each other.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
What was your inspiration for starting what is essentially a rescue mission for queer young adults?
I used to do a tour called Loosen the Bible Belt. So I was on tour in the Deep South. I grew up in Shreveport, Louisiana. And I was on tour with actually Jim and Tammy Faye Baker's son. Jay Baker is a progressive Christian pastor. And so Jay and I were on tour in the Deep South, and there was an article in the paper about a kid in Shreveport, and it was right around my 20th high school reunion. And there was a kid named Teddy who was graduating high school early because he was being bullied so much. And his parents were like, they needed to get him out of high school before he hurt himself. And there was just something about it being like around my 20th high school reunion and going back to this place that was really formative and you know, where I grew up and having the story be the same. Like nothing had changed in 20 years. And so it just kind of, you know, it was 2016, and so all that had happened. And it just...
I don't know what you're talking about.
It was a thing. We don't talk about it much, but it happened. And so, you know, and in PTOWN specifically, there was a fear of, oh, well, if there's no visas, then there's no workers. And I kept saying, wait, there are young adults in our own country who don't need visas, who would love to be here. And I heard a lot of, American teenagers don't want to work. Oh, American kids aren't working. And I realized that the only experience that maybe a lot of people in PTOWN had with young Americans were people whose parents had houses at the beach. And turns out that the young adults that I were talking to were of a very different demographic. And they were, you know, in Tyler, Texas, or somewhere where being queer really meant that you could only work at maybe McDonald's, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but the idea was that if you looked different, you presented differently, your own opinion of what you could be was pretty narrow. And then they were only making, you know, like $7.50 an hour. So I called a few of them and I was like, hey, you want to make $14 an hour? And that alone is really something that will change your sense of self, quite frankly, when someone says you're worth more than you heard before. So that was really it. It was really just kind of recognizing the needs, seeing how easily this could be helpful to everyone. I really like stories where everyone wins. Yeah. And for me, this was an everyone wins. The town gets staff, people who need to be in an area to feel better about themselves and to be accepted got that too. So we started a GoFundMe. Yeah. And we raised $2,400, and I convinced a few PTOWN people to rent their rooms out to queer Southerners.
Wow. Yeah, can we get a... Yeah. I also enjoy a story where everyone wins.
Yeah, it's win-win.
Yeah, especially if I'm part of the everyone.
Yeah.
You described community as a celebration of authenticity and a real connection that makes you open up enough to be yourself. So how does Summer of Sass make community cool again?
How does anybody, right?
Right.
Like when community over people over profits is the thing we're trying to do right now.
Yeah.
You know, I think gratitude. Truthfully, I think it really is just about, you know, we try really hard to create a culture of community in the house. And that doesn't mean, you know, that people don't... Am I allowed to swear?
Yes.
Okay, great. You know, it means when we fuck up, we say we fucked up, you know, and we own it, and that's okay. And there's been a lack of allowance for humanity everywhere, right? Like, and on both sides, right? And obviously I'm not... If I don't believe in a gender binary, I don't believe in a political binary either. That's like, that would, you know. So this idea that, like, you know, every time someone messes up and we're like, oh, you did this one thing, and where we go in our house, the culture is, well, did they mean anything by it? Like, was it what is the intent? Is it ill-intended? You know, and just really knowing that everyone's safe, everyone has a place to sleep, and once you get to that baseline of, like, everyone has food, everyone has a place to sleep, all our needs are met, let's just approach it with, how do we fix this, right? And I don't know, it seems to work out pretty well. When you let people be themselves, they're pretty good people. Generally speaking, when you give young adults the space to say, you know, acknowledge that some of them come from trauma. You know, I had to learn right off the bat that 3 weeks at the gay beach doesn't undo a lifetime of trauma, apparently.
Strangely.
You know, like they weren't, like I was like, oh, I'm here to fix everybody. And the first month I'm like, why aren't you all healed? Like, you're at the gay beach. Like, what's going on?
This is it.
This is as good as it gets, you know? And then you start to realize, like, it might take a little bit longer. Yeah. And that's okay too, right? Like, because we're here to, we want to create happy, healthy humans. That is really our goal. And so, yeah, I find that having the space to be yourself and know that that self can fuck up is the key component. Because everyone's like, be yourself, but then the minute you do something wrong, they're like, why did you do that? And you're like, I don't know.
Be yourself to a point. Be yourself to certain expectations. Be yourself to the self that I know.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Be
right.
the most of that thing you've already shown me.
Yes.
Don't give me anything new.
Right. We're taking no new selves.
No new selves here.
Amazing. In what ways have you observed the community of Provincetown change over the years, particularly when it comes to housing and space for something like this? I sense that there might be thoughts in the room about this.
I mean, I've only been here 10 years, so I'm not even know if legally I'm allowed to have an opinion yet.
Yeah.
But I'll give it a shot. So, it's been really interesting. The first year that I was here, and I'll just speak it through the program because I've been incredibly fortunate. I rented a seasonal. I was charming. I convinced it to become a year-round my first year. I ended up staying. I've been very lucky. My girlfriend thinks I'm insane that I had housing, and I spent my time finding housing for other people. She's like, "You're a maniac. What are you doing? You didn't have to worry about it." But, when I first started, it was about, can I raise enough money, right? And at the time, a two-bedroom was maybe $14,000 for the season. I could put a couple kids in there. That would be great. And then I started to realize that when the pandemic happened, the rates went through the roof. And then it wasn't only about, I raised $25,000 last year, and it wasn't enough to get a rental for the summer. And it was enough, but not for my kids, not for my young, sometimes not white, sometimes not cis kids. When Connor from New York can work remotely in a two-bedroom apartment on Pearl Street, most landlords would rather have Connor from New York and his laptop working remotely than have my kids. And I tell you, that is the wrong perception, because Connor going to get some semen on some things. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying, Connor's going to spill a red wine. Connor's going to have parties. And my kids aren't even going to, use the utilities, right? They're not even going to cook. They're going to order burritos. They're going to be terrified of doing anything wrong. They're not old enough to drink. And so, there's this perception that, they're going to be so destructive. I'm like, no, honestly, they're so grateful for not being actually in fear for their lives. They're pretty well behaved, at least the first summer.
Yeah. Summer number 2, that's where it gets to be the summer of sass.
We do now have a 2-year rule, because I've learned that by year 3, they don't want to deal with my bullshit, and I don't want to deal with theirs, right? Year 1, you can still kind of parent them a little bit. Year 2, they're a little bit more independent. Year 3, when I'm like, you can't do that, they're like, meh, So they
grow up so fast.
Yeah, they grow up so fast. And that's what we want. We take it very seriously that a lot of our young adults don't have support to go to after this. So it's boot camp. I've got 2 years to get a kid from no skills whatsoever to employable, knowing how to do their laundry and wash their face and brush their teeth and have a savings account and pay their bills and all of it. And we take that very seriously, because they're, not some of our kids come from supportive families in bad towns, but some of them come from families who kick them out when they're 18 because they're trans. And so that person gets, honestly, almost a tougher hand from us, because we know, we're like, yo, we got 2 years to get you to not be homeless, because you're the kid that's going to be homeless when you're 28 if we don't get you employable right now. Yeah, that get heavy. Sorry.
No, but it's the reality. Yeah, please, it's the reality. Which brings me to my next question: how can all of us, especially those with financial privilege or a platform, support the development of vibrant community and celebrate volunteerism? Because I would imagine this takes a lot of people thrown into the pot to get something like this to be real.
Yes, no, it definitely does. And I've been a DIY artist for 20 years, so I can get by on almost nothing. And that's what we did for the first 5 years. And now somebody gave us, a few million, and then we bought a big house. But that's expensive, I think, what it is? I really would love to see a culture shift where doing good work in your community is applauded in an obnoxious way. We're at a point right now where we're like, oh, that's cute, you donated money, and wow, whatever. And I even said this to my donors, who are anonymous, and I love them for that. They don't want anyone to know, because they it's not about that. It's not about them. But kind of saying that, all right, if we're going to live in a society that says we give tax breaks to the rich because the rich are then going to stimulate the economy, then I think we really need to hold people accountable to that. And I think we really need to say, in the same way, if churches are going to get tax breaks, that's fine, but are you feeding people? Are you housing people? Are you doing the things that the tax breaks are supposed to be funding?
Yes.
And I think that's true in just personal activism and personal wealth. Is what are you hoarding? And fine, I'll give you the tax break. You could have your pile of rubles or whatever. But at the end of the day, like you get to the benefit you get is not to keep it. The benefit you get is choosing where you spend it, right? And choosing where you donate it to. It doesn't mean you get all these tax breaks and you hang on to it. It means you've got all that money. Now, what are you doing with it? So, when people say, oh my God, your donors are like amazing people. They are, but I'm also like, well, they got that much money, they should probably be giving it away, right? Like that. I mean, it's not that they're not generous people, but I do think culturally, instead of being like, oh, wow, what incredible people, it's like, yeah, no, that's exactly what you should be doing. I think that there's a tone shift that is really necessary. Like, make being really wealthy incredibly shameful. Like, that's all, really, like, I really think that's important where we are right now, because the divide is so great between the people who have all of the money, and there's only like 30 of them. So yeah, I would really love to see more of a social shaming of the wealthy. Sorry, that sounds terrible. But no, because it's really, it's not even like, oh, it's just like, hey, we'll do it positively.
Yes,
like,
yeah.
Did you know what you could do with that money you got?
I love that.
Like, I really think
yes.
I really think that there should be more of that. I think that, people talk about in PTOWN, there's a divide right now, and there's a lot of wealth coming into town, and artists are nervous, and everyone's like, are we going to get pushed out, and what's going to happen? And I always say, I was like, find something cool to tell them to do with their money, and they will, really, if you just give them a, hey, here's a way you can help.
It's how you can help, right?
Yeah, but everybody's afraid to talk about money, so
well,
there's that.
to this point, you've said before that anybody can make money, but not everyone can make a change. What is a change you wish to vision into being under this pride full moon that we're having tonight? And bring into this space and make a reality for this room of people, y'all as witnesses right here, okay? What is that change?
Locally?
Sure.
Or everywhere? I mean, I know you sent me this ahead of time, but I have ADHD. And I made it to like the first 6, and then apparently I missed the last question. Wow, was this on my writer? Was this on my list?
Exactly. This is live theater right here.
What change would I like to see? I mean, I'm really into people helping people, and I'm really into being. All right, I'm gonna go on a tangent for a minute. But I kind of believe that, like, when you look at world history, I think things have to be done smaller. I think the movement is about being local, right?
Yeah.
Because when you look at world history, when you get too big, no matter what, you either become a whole bunch of different countries or you become a dictatorship. Period. Right? And so I think we need to really look at that as a country and be like, what are we hanging on to? What are we forcing? So basically, I want us to split up. I want to divide the United States of America into a few different regions and rethink it. Because we're not coming back from this. I don't know if y'all have been to Mississippi, but we're not coming back from this. It's too far gone. So, yeah, I would like to see the United States divide.
Sure.
Into some sense, no.
It's so sheepish. Like, I don't know. Just
well, they get mad. Then they sound like an angry lesbian. You're like, oh, divide the union, split up the union. So, but that is, I guess, at my core, that's what I'd like to see.
Great. And what do you think happens when that moment occurs, when that shift occurs, where we say, okay, we're gonna look out for our own and we're gonna care for our own? Where does that lead us to?
Probably war, honestly. I mean, if history gives us any indication, that's, I mean, listen, if this queer community in PTOWN with, number one, some of the most badass people I know, right? Like, you don't just get here accidentally. This is an intent. Like, you come here with intention either to heal yourself or to free yourself, or both simultaneously or consecutively, or however it works for you, concurrently maybe. Yeah. And from there, you're kind of a superhero. And then when you look at the collection of wealth in this community, it's like, wow, we really can have a huge impact. I just think it's important that we remember to think about it in new ways, right? Like, is it always donating to a giant not-for-profit? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's finding an artist you like on Instagram that's in Grand Saline, Texas, who is unemployable because they have, a different gender presentation, and buying $5,000 worth of art from that person because it's going to change their actual life, right? Like maybe I think it is more about direct impact. I think it is more about humans. As much as as someone who runs an organization and needs you to give me money, I also say there's a lot of value to getting more personal with your wealth. There's value to doing more than just writing a check. There's value in in just connecting with the people who you're helping in a way that, builds a community.
Community builder, Kristen Becker, Summer of Sass. Everybody, round of applause. Thank you.
Thank
you so much. Thank you so much. Dynamo, 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 dynamo. Dynamo, 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 dynamo. Supply, supply of electrical power. Keeping you warm, warm, warm in the winter. Fantastical images, brightly conjured machines. Dynamo, why I know I'm gonna do the work for you. Dynamo, 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 dynamo. Dynamo, 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 dynamo. Dynamo, 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 dynamo. Dynamo, dynamo, dynamo. Dynamo, 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 dynamo. Closeted in my shed for hours on end. Books held open by a stone. One piece of chalk is how I can talk my heart. Drawing line after 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 line. I'm moving rapidly. I'm such an anomaly. Complicated mass of working cogs and glass. So throw your stones at me and watch the beauty of my body. Shines reflecting colors in the air. I'm everywhere. Dynamo, 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 dynamo. Dynamo, 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 dynamo. Dynamo, 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 dynamo. Dynamo, 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 dynamo. Supply, supply of electrical power. Keeping you warm, warm, warm in the winter. Fantastical images, brightly conjured machines. Dynamo, why I know I'm gonna do the work for you. Thank you.